What's up, everybody? It's Marco from Digital Dash. Thanks for tuning in to another video. Today, I'm going to be doing a little bit of a trade review as well as talking about the market for today. I don't want to go too much, into doing too much analysis. It's not really too much analysis that needs to be done. Not much has changed from Sunday night's video, but I do want to talk about the context of the market changing, really, and then I want to talk about some of the things that we noticed with the price action today. So starting off, just to preface everything, I do want to start off by saying yesterday at 11:30 p.m., I came in Discord. I left a note saying I was looking to let the market pull back before we look to do anything. And then I noted that there was high impact news Wednesday and Thursday, so I was going to be cautious of the market going stagnant and being wonky leading up to Thursday's high impact news. So that's what I was being cautious of coming into the market today. I'm pretty aware at this point, past couple weeks, past couple months, and even when I look back at my trading for years at this point, one of the things I'm noticing is that Monday and that Friday is difficult to trade. Those Mondays are sometimes tricky, and those Fridays are tricky as well, because a lot of times the range for the week is getting developed pretty much. So, or respected come Friday, or broken out of come Friday, right? So because of those things can get tricky on something like a Monday. So pairing that with having pending high impact news later on in the week is something that could lead to this stagnation or lead to the market being wonky, like I noted here last night. So I should have just been coming into today just super extra cautious, or not even looking, or even not even looking to put on a trade until we saw what we wanted to see. And that was kind of the case today. If I were to give myself a grade, it would probably had to be C plus or a B minus on this one, like as far as waiting to get involved in the market until I saw what I wanted to see. Now, that was the thing. Again, I saw an entry signal. I got signals to enter the market, but they were on a lower time frame. So I really got to wait for those higher time frame areas and those higher time frame signals so that my probability of success and the probability of the trades working out is much higher, right? So took a small loss today. First trade was break even to turn back around on me. I got up before things got bad. Second trade was a small loser. I think it was maybe five points or something on that one. 5-point loss I took today, so not too bad, but definitely kept it small. And I'm definitely, I'm willing to pay that price to figure out, all right, this is not the time to trade, and then I'm just gonna wait until I see the things that I do need to see for me to start trading again. So that was one thing we saw today. I mean, that was pretty much the biggest thing we saw today, right? Is knowing that, okay, we know the role that high impact news plays, and we know the role that. And we know how the market gets when we're waiting for news. So just being aware of that, and then knowing that, okay, this is a day where we kind of got to risk off, take a step back. If we take a small loser or something like 5 points, cool, but understand what that means and take that for what it is and use that information. But to get right into the charts, man, enough of me. To get right into the charts. This is what I was looking at for today, man. Let's see. This same zone pretty much. This zone was here pre-market. Right, this is some type of fair value gap. I think it was a 1 hour. The most recent 1 hour gap pull back into. We had pre-market lows here. That was one of the first things I noticed today. Right, was when we pushed up. We're expecting moves up. It's a bull rally. That's fine. We're expecting price to go higher. We're expecting higher highs to get made here. But we didn't want to see price break down. We didn't want to see price start to break down. Right, knowing that was the first gap is cool because we need to be aware of where price can bounce at. But also in the 4 hour, this has started to develop a little bit more structure here. Now we're seeing, okay, we don't want to see a 4 hour close back below this 48.77. So that was kind of my rationale today, was saying, okay, let's see, let's just wait. Honestly, I wasn't supposed to get involved at all today. You guys can see the trade that I had planned out was down, or at least the entry area. I may not get this exact entry, or I may not. My stop may actually be based like here by the time we get into the trade. Who knows? But I was planning on getting involved here in the market from last night's analysis, us seeing and waiting for those initial gaps that were left in the market to get filled, pretty much, before we saw a new move higher. So good. It's good that we're putting in that high. That's cool. I wanted to go in today not trying to chase any shorts. I'm going in like, look. The lower time frame is going to show me breakdowns. The lower time frame is going to look like reversals are happening. The lower time frames is going to show me pullbacks. And I just didn't want to get seduced by the lower time frames. I ended up making my decisions off of the 30-minute today, which was still not as good as the hour, because we really want to pay attention to what's going on in that hourly, what breakdowns are happening on that hourly, to really give us a clue as to what we need to do. The 1 hour, yes, we kind of broke down below this area, but again, things can get tricky because we didn't even really get much displacement through that level, right? We definitely didn't get much displacement through that level at all. So to see any type of follow through, we would have needed a big push down on this next candle that formed, but it started pulling back. So seeing things like that really was giving me the signs that things were choppy. By 11, I definitely was like, okay, this is not the move. By the time 11 o'clock came, we got this push down. And this is why it was so important here. Initially, I was trying to short below, right? We didn't get the follow through that we wanted to see, right? The short was, we could possibly, I was just targeted down here as well, right? Just this low. We weren't even trying to break the whole zone. This, the move ended up happening. But, and I would have still, if I would have never got out of break even, this would have been a winning trade actually. But again, the conditions, we weren't seeing the market sell off. We weren't seeing the market rally. When we do something like push pre-market lows like this, and something that's acting so obviously as support, and even wicking the bottom of the zone, if we whipsaw, if we turn back around, we're expecting some type of follow through, right? So we didn't get that follow through to the upside, and that was our long trade. That's the trade we got stopped out on. We didn't get that follow through to the long side. The thesis was, okay, we're having some type of spring-like effect. It looks like we took liquidity, ran liquidity to the downside. Let's see if we can run highs. That's where our target was at. Didn't get that move. Instead, we pushed up, we pulled back, and then sold off again. But again, we sold off just enough for that trade to hit, not enough to show us any follow through. Yeah, we haven't made any progress on the day, so that's just a sign that choppy conditions are entering into the market here, right? So that's when we see things like failing to break below the lows and failing to make new highs, especially after we've seen extremely bullish price action like Friday, then that's a sign that consolidation and the market is getting stagnant, right? The only other thing we should be seeing after a day like Friday is the price going higher. It's more continuation. And if we start to see things slow down, we start to see things chop around, we start to see structure form, we start to see a range form, then that's what's telling us that we can anticipate a pullback. If that is the pullback, if it's not, we can anticipate a bigger pullback before the trend continues. And then pulling back into support is going to tell us if the trend is going to hold, right? If we break back below the higher time frame supports that we're looking to take and respect it, break and retest, showing that we want to continue moving down to the downside, then we're going to have that information to make a decision. So yeah, man, again, today, nothing has changed. I really honestly didn't wait for my areas of interest. Although I did take a small loss today, it was a loss that could have been avoided. And that's it. Honestly, the first trade, I didn't take any losses from the first trade, but really that was the trade that should have been avoided. The second trade was cool because it was a long trade, so I'm still going with the trend, but didn't enter the market at the areas that I was looking to enter the market at. Even on my entry, I think I didn't wait for a gap before I entered long. Yeah, I didn't even end up waiting for a gap to form right here before I entered on a retest of the gap. I kind of just got in long once we started moving back up there, with the hopes that we would just have that continuation due to the fact that we failed to run pre-market lows like that and had that pullback. And then now, you know what I mean? Look at the price action for the rest of the day. Look at the price action for the rest of the day. It's just moving sideways. We haven't done anything today. We haven't made any progress. We have not made any progress today. So a bunch of choppy price action, man. But I'm going to introduce myself back to the screen so we can go ahead and wrap this up. Again, not a bad day, bro. It's not a bad day, if I'm being honest. It's not a bad day. It's a day where I can still take away something to improve from. It's a day where I can still give myself a pat on the back for the things that I was able to do properly. And it's another day that's another learning experience in the right direction. Luckily this time it didn't, there wasn't pain involved. There wasn't too much pain involved. There was some agony watching these trades bounce back and forth, but I'm kind of impressed with myself, the experience of knowing, okay, I immediately being able to identify when conditions change. What is something that arises on the chart that we immediately know we don't want to see, right? Something like conditions that are supposed to be trending after we had a huge breakout day like that. We should have no problem making new highs or breaking below support, right? If there's enough volume, if there's enough volatility in the market that we can move and bounce around and run 100 points like we did last week, then there should be no problem moving 10 points to break below this support and show us that we're truly want to hold below this, right? So when we start to see price action that's indicating that, it's a struggle to do those things, then that's what I'm saying. All right, now I got to step back here. So the goal for the rest of the week is having enough discipline to wait for these areas of interest to trigger. I'll admit it's a minute away. It's a decent amount away. Looking back on the daily chart where I'm looking to get involved, right? Where I would ideally like to get involved is 40 points away. So that could have, it could take another day. It could take another 2 days. Again, today we barely made any movement. So who's to say, Tuesday and Wednesday we don't do the same thing and only move 10 points both of those days. And Thursday we get some high impact news. We push down another 20 points, right? We get a dump and then a pump type of situation where we're going ending the rest of the week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday bouncing or something. Who knows, right? But the point is, like we said in Discord, like we went over in Discord, we want to make sure. Let's see. We want to make sure that we don't get burned out and we don't get burnt before the real opportunity presents itself. So that's another huge thing that I want to make sure I'm doing here is, okay, I'll take that cool 5-point loss, whatever, a little paper cut today. That was the price I had to pay to learn that the conditions of the market was changing. I'll take that, and then I'll sit on the sidelines and wait until the conditions are ideal for me again and opportunity presents itself, because one, I want to have mental capital when opportunity presents itself. And two, I want to have capital when opportunity presents itself. So that's what it's about right now. It's about having that discipline to sit on the sidelines until we see that setup that we want. So yeah, man, that's all I got for today. I don't want to do too much rambling. This new style of video I'm trying out, something to look at, I guess. Not too hard to shoot, not too much commitment, right? But it does add a little bit of flair and personality. So if y'all like it, let me know in the comments. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.